Water, water, water. We need to have a serious discussion about the hype that's going around with this stuff. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We're starting off over here with Merill and Atlantean stuff. And as you saw on Market Watch this morning, these cards are moving at an alarming rate right now. And it's not just dedicated to older formats strictly, no. What we actually have going on here is actually insane hype for water support. And we've been so vocal on this channel talking about, hey, you know, with the trailer release, the water stuff is coming. It's a matter of time until Konami decides, where do we put the Atlantean Structure Deck remake? All right, and it's very apparent that they want Fire to run its course as long as it possibly can. So, this is my formal pull your head out of your ass, time to listen, and go, if you're looking at some of this high-rarity Merill stuff, some of this high-rarity Atlantean stuff, to decide, hey, you know, is this worth it? Do I consider this now? As good of any time as usual, man. Like, you can sit here and you can dilly-dally on this stuff and go, huh, but if something good comes down the pipeline here and you watch Atlantean Dragoons go, wow, I can't believe Atlantean Dragoons is $300 right now. Huh. I mean, they're already at $175, which is already disgusting as it is. Marksman, on the other hand, going down, I'm kind of okay with. It's not like Marksman inherently has any real crazy value, in my personal opinion, but this Merill Atlantean hype, I'm intrigued with. I'm very curious to see how this goes for, you know, the long haul here, and how we will continue to see this stuff evolve with, you know, the possibility of future hype coming down the pipeline. That's it. That's all you've got to talk about for the heavy hitters of the water world. Now, what about the littler ones, like Kirin, for example, out here? You know, your water barrier statue, stuff like that. While Merill and Atlantean stuff is like your higher priority-esque things right now, don't not look at the littler water stuff. I mean, you've got ice barrier support coming down the pipeline here as well, which I'm also very curious to know it's going to get reprinted from that in Terminal Revenge. But, you know, that's a story for another day. So if you're looking at, like, you know, do I need to grab some, you know, rare barrier statues, for example? Do I want to have my Kirins so that, you know, we can have these to play? I was looking at, before filming this, Kirin is a $1 card, all right? And that's from the Water Duelist pack. Legendary Duelist Water is one of the worst products to ever actually hit shelves, which is crazy because all Konami needs to do is do the same thing that they just did with Year of the Fire and create all of this interesting water support, and you can bring life back to all of that water support. I guess the only difference between everything was we need to create something that can interact with a certain level of water, because it just so happened that level 1 fire was just the point for all of this fire support to be able to interact with, and, you know, here you are. So, the littler water stuff. I can't think of anything outside of Kirin, the water barrier statue, maybe some of the ice barrier stuff that you don't think is going to get a reprint. You know, things like that you're going to want to look at and go, huh, this is a golden opportunity. Or, I mean, Konami reprints Kirin, it goes from $1 to $0.25, but who knows? I think it's kind of unlikely at this point. Year of the Fire hype is starting to calm down. Oh my gosh, bonfires are under $100. Wanteds are almost at pre-release prices again. I think your release price, whatever, they're heading down to like $70. And people are looking around, they're like, it's happening. Well, you know why it's happening, right? Because nobody wants to be caught with their, you know, dangling, you know, just nobody wants to be sitting here crying with their pants down. You know, everybody knows that fire, and the hilarious thing about all of this is we're just heading on into it's first week of March already. Well, I mean, if you consider this like 2 days in at this point, You know, you're at this very early stage of this, and everybody's like, oh yeah, Konami's going to crater it. I don't think it's going to be... You're watching all of these prices drop around Fire, and the more that these cards do continue to drop, if these things don't, or it survives a list, you're going to watch the spiral go right back on up, on into, well, another devastating place in the market. So, this reminds me a lot of Necros format, where everybody was fire selling Necros, and then the deck dodged a ban list, and then the prices just escalated up so quickly. And if fire stuff continues to dodge, and you wanna risk it for the biscuit, history has favored those that are bold, and then sometimes people have just lost their asses. I mean, like, it's an entire fallacy out here. It's why it's called risking it for the biscuit. All right, so I don't know how much lower fire hype can go. I assume a lot more than it actually already has, per se. Doomsday Star, good old Typhon. So this has been an interesting card to watch on the market, because as of filming this, Doomsday Star has been holding about $35 to $40. I know that's a really big shift curve here, because you've seen, like 37, 38 tends to be about the medium for this card, but for whatever reason right now, I find this card fascinating, because everybody was like, oh, you know, the card hype, you know, and then it came out, and then people were like, oh, we're not going to play this. There's no point in dedicating an extra deck slot to this. And then other people kind of started looking around like, well, that's dumb. Like, why would you not dedicate a slot to this? Because, you know, what if your opponent breaks your board? You know, now you can go ahead and have this utility option to do things. And now we've kind of reached the point again where the Typhon hype is slowing down. And I'm just sitting here, I'm watching all this. I'm like, well, it should probably end up with a reprint by the end of the year. So I could understand, like, backing off in that. But, like, with where the current format is right now, Typhon just seems like one of those cards that will always have a purpose. You know what I mean? Like, the card feels incredibly strong for what it needs to do and be, and I think it's kind of worth noting overall. So as Typhon and this community decides that, you know, Typhon might be a bad card, or, you know, it continues to recede down or spin around, whatever Typhon's going to do here, I just wanted to once again point out that this card, a very, very interesting state on the market as it kind of figures out what it wants to do. I don't know. It's some of these things to me are just so intriguing to watch, and this is one of those cases personally. Kyber briefcase singles. So we saw our first little bit of prices for the Kyber briefcase stuff this morning on Market Watch, and here's the thing I've learned about these styles of products. If something looks really cheap, and you're like, okay, but then you have an argument with yourself over $5. You didn't want to spend that $5 to pick it up, and you're going to be mad when the cards in that said product go up. And I think when you have a product that's paywall behind literally $500 to pick up one-ups, then you better start justifying those price points sooner than later. And I think you've got another case of this. So, with what I'm looking at right now, with this particular product is, I've already picked up the stuff I wanted. I'm not playing games. It was like $30. I get the few things I want. I go, my hands are washed with it. I've got them. If they adjust in price, well, okay. But the pot collection taught me one thing about these specialty products, and it's just, these things will go sideways very, very quickly if you're not fully aware of what's going on with them. So, this is me going, I acted and picked them up. If you're going to argue with yourself over a card being $5, then you truly didn't really want it. And that means you're going to be even more upset when the card is now going to be $25 or something insane to that degree. We've learned our lesson with this game. We don't play it anymore. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you. Oh.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.